So the NBA has fallen in love with oversized guards over the most recent seasons, and with this emergence, you get players who have potential to do a lot of things on the court, whether it be switching between the 1 and 2 guards simply because of their height. The Charlotte Hornets are an interesting team with some very good pieces and made sure to get their exact point guard prototype they were looking for. Ever since the protege LaMelo Ball has been drafted, we've seen way more eyes on this team than in recent memory. Going into last season, 90% of fans renewed their season tickets, while adding in an additional 2,200 more people who bought in as well to see their future superstar in person. LaMelo brings this free flow, flashy street ball placed out to the floor, and it's very refreshing to see from a young player. With loads of confidence, when you see Melo at work, you notice that he has a great feel for the game and is a natural born leader that is ready to take this team to the next level. Before joining this Hornets team, Charlotte's record was 23-42 the year prior to LaMelo being drafted, and with the arrival of LaMelo, the Hornets have improved every year, winning 33 games in the 2020-21 season and 43 games this past 2021-22 season. Obviously, we can attribute a big part of this team's success to Ball, as he makes everyone around him better. Whether it's placing the ball on the money to teammates perfectly off cuts, flashy dimes after mixing defenders up and penetrating the paint, or throwing fanatic alley-oops, Melo has the skills to be an elite passer given the tools he already has in his pocket. Dishing out 7 assists on 3 turnovers a game, LaMelo is right outside the top 10 players at rank 14 in the league and potential assists a game at 13.4. So that shows you just a little more insight into just how bright the future can be. Letting LaMelo get downhill with little to no defensive pressure off screen so easily is a big mistake, as it grants him time and space to find angles to set up bigs or even cutters in many ways. Coming off this screen, Sabonis sags off very far and Brogdon sleeps on the roll, so LaMelo is able to feed it right back for a Plumlee slam. Here we see LaMelo push this sideline screen aggressively versus Garland, and after getting to the paint with ease, Melo is able to slide this pass off the Bridges in between 2 Cavs defenders, resulting in a Bridges slam. The screen navigation skills of LaMelo are simply great and can lead to many options offensively, whether it's him scoring the ball or finding the open man. These screens set up those highlight-worthy lobs that Ball has such great touch and accuracy on, making any big or high flyer benefit greatly when playing with him. And it also opens up the floor for him to zip passes all around the court when defenders are in help positions. On this play, Bridges doesn't set the typical screen, he sets a slip screen, and as Melo blows past the defender, Bridges is already in pursuit to the basket as his man gets bumped slightly by McDaniels on the recover, and Ball just scoops it up there for the Bridges dunk. Coming off this hero screen, Melo gets in the air but notices PJ Man stop for the help, and he slings it over there for the knockdown 3. Not having to always lean on screens, but he is very effective off of them, he doesn't have to just depend on those. Just by using his handle to shake off defenders, whether it's in the half-court transition, noticing teammates off defensive breakdowns is a strength as well. You see it here as Melo is able to get past Doncic, and once getting into the paint, Finney-Smith slides over for that help, and Ball threads this pass quickly off the bounce to Washington for the two-handed slam. The court vision for LaMelo is second to none, and he can make this offense run smooth just by how well everything runs off of him. The ability to create and distribute off screens on the fast break or in isolation are all huge factors for a young up-and-coming point guard and superstar. The ball handling skills that play a factor into him finding openings in the defense to thread the needle lead right into his scoring as well. That soft touch on the alley-oops and getting to his spots to play make one on the court help with Ball's finishing factor greatly. On all shots less than 8 feet, Ball is shooting 50% on 6 attempts per game, and on drive to the basket, Melo is shooting 44% on 6 attempts per game as well. So shooting fairly well around the basket, but having room to improve on this aspect of his game. With his height, linkiness, and athleticism, it makes for believing that Ball can be a pretty decent rim threat one day. Not really the biggest guy when we're talking about weight room bully type or anything, but Ball can absorb contact on his pursuits to the rim pretty well and still finish the bucket. You see Grant Williams tries to use the strength advantage by bodying up a Ball on the drive, and Melo just stays composed with the handle, then double clutches to avoid that block and finishes the lay. Not only that, but snaking through the defense when penetrating Ball can be pretty elusive and use creative finishes to make it hard for the defense to affect him. Just using his length and jerky speed here, after breaking off Dame, Melo wraps around Plumlee and then extends out wide. He places it high off the glass to stop shot blockers and sink this lay. Faking the screen here, Melo gets ahead of steam attacking, and when getting to the rim he switches hands on the way up, which is very flashy, and finishes with the slither of room with the inside hand. This deep inside scoring can improve for Melo as he fills out his frame more and learns how to use his body to generate better angles, which will make it easier for him to convert. To mitigate all the contact at the rim or on the way there while still being able to score effectively, being able to pull the floater out of your back pocket is one of the best go-tos and a need for all guards. With Melo standing around 6'7", it gives him more of an advantage over smaller guards when he's tossing these over bigs, as he isn't massively undersized when faced with a contest. It's pretty darn impressive to see him finish this one-handed gather floater over the heavy smothering defense of Claxton, who is around 7 feet. And as easy as ball makes it look, trust me, it's actually very difficult to drop these in moving at high speeds downhill against 6'10 plus defenders. With Mitchell Robinson being a decent rim protector, Melo knows this, so even though the lane looks open to drive right, he stops short and drops it in. Melo, unlike most, takes his floater to the next level at times and will float it up from very far out, which throws defenses off because you're not expecting the floater from that deep. Key example, as Melo comes off the screen, Holmes fails to step up here and Melo doesn't even bother to get further downhill, and instead he just tosses it up from 14 feet. Moving quick off this handoff, Cat and Jarrett assume the drive is coming because of the downhill speed, but Melo just stops just short of the restricted area and drops it in. Keeping the defense on their heels, not knowing if he's going to attack the rim heavy or stop with the floater can be very hard to judge at times, and that's why it's so key to have that as a go-to. This is a super bright spot in Melo's game and makes his scoring versatility rise to the high level. If he doesn't decide to take it to the rack or drop in the floaters, then the most exciting part to his game can arguably be his three-point shooting. And then when you match that with the shifty ball handling skills to drill pull-ups as well, it makes for a special offensive talent. Improving from 35% on 5 attempts from 3 his rookie year to 39% on 7 attempts in his second year, Melo has proven to be a shooting threat from deep. And it's not just one way he can dial it in from long range. It's one thing to be able to spot up and knock it down when the ball is kicked out to you, but being able to also take players off the dribble and create an open look for yourself makes you even more scarier from the outside. With 18% of his three-point shot distribution coming off pull-ups, Melo converts these at a 34% rate and is showing flashes of being a good shot creator from deep in the future. With his height, along with the great lift on his jumper, it's hard to disrupt him, and Melo gets his shot off pretty quick when pulling up off the dribble. The key to being a great shooter, let alone a three-point shooter, really starts with mentality. And when you see Melo play, you see he is oozing with confidence on the court, so you can't afford to let him get any space or he will make the defense pay. You can see as the Knicks fail to really communicate and step up on the switch, giving up all this space, and Ball lets it fly immediately, knocking down the 30-foot bomb. Carter is putting relentless pressure on Melo right at half court, and while staying under control, Ball sets up a hard attack towards this screen to then snatch back with the behind the back directly into this step back three. It will be nice to see LaMelo get up more pull-up threes this next season and in the future, as right now he is sitting at 3 pull-ups from deep a game and 4.4 catch and shoot threes per game. But for the lower conversion rate in the pull-up threes, Melo converts off the catch at a 42% clip and is a more than reliable option off the kick out or if the ball is just swung his way. Developing more of a mid-range jumper will be nice for Melo as his shooting is already mapping out to be great, but for now that outstretched floater will do just fine. LaMelo is truly amazing to watch on the court, whether it's his dazzling dimes, acrobatic finishes, three-point bombs, or mesmerizing handles. Of course, there is room to grow in his game, but for a second-year player, Ball is looking to have a bright future. This Charlotte Hornets team is really turning it around and are putting together a team that can not only be exciting to watch on the daily, but is actually starting to win more games every season. Drafting a generational player is something most teams don't get the opportunity to do, but for the Charlotte Hornets, it's looking like they have landed theirs with LaMelo Ball being the future. If you enjoyed this video, watch this Tyrese Maxey analysis over all the tools he has to make him the 76ers upcoming star, or go watch this Kevin Durant video discussing all the value he still has left to bring to this team. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.